Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the video. I hope you're having a nice day. Today I thought I'd start a new series where basically I take an artist and rank all their albums based on my personal listening experience. Not like commercial success or anything, just based on my own personal experience. But I bought a bunch of random bands on a wheel and just spun it, and I got Bon Jovi. So today with the first episode we're gonna start out with Bon Jovi. If you want to hear any band specifically, leave them down in the comments. But today we're gonna get started with Bon Jovi and rank all 15 of their albums, and we're gonna exclude the newest album that they just released this year, um, Legendary, but or sorry, called Forever, because not everyone has heard that. But the first 15 albums, I'm sure everyone has heard it, or at least I have, and for the video. So we're gonna be ranking those. So let's get started with number 15. So for number 15, I would put Burning Bridges. I know that's an obvious choice, but like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not the best album. I mean, I don't hate it. It's a Bon Jovi album. It's I like all Bon Jovi albums, but still at the same time, it's not that good. It's just like it just has like it feels like unfinished material on the song or something, and like the songs are like pop rockish kind of, or like it's just weird. I don't really like them. I mean, the first two tracks are pretty good. The teardrop to the sea, and We Don't Run. Those are both great songs, but like besides that, I don't really like the album that much, and I don't have that much to say about it. It just never really grew on me. But yeah. Anyway, we go to the next album, which is their most recent album, besides the one that released this year, and it's called 2020. And of course, 2020 was released in 2020. And this one, once again, is at spot 14, so it's not that good, but still, it's not as bad as what's it called, Burning Bridges. Now, it has some decent songs on here. I like Limitless is okay. Story of Love and Beautiful Drug is the one that I really like. Limitless and Beautiful Drug. The rest of the songs, they're not really that good. Do What You Can, American Reckoning, Story of Love, Let It Rain, Lower the Flag, Blood in the Water is okay. Brother in Arms, Unbroken, yeah, those songs aren't that great. It's mostly like Limitless and Beautiful Drug, sort of more catchy pop rockish, uplifting songs. But like I said, I don't have that much to say about this album either, because it's okay. It's like modern rock attempt, pop rockish. That's how Bon Jovi's always been, but like this, it never really grew on me. It's an okay album. But yeah, that's in spot number 14. That leads us to number 13, which is the album that was released in 2016 called This House Is Not For Sale. So this album was like the real first album with Phil X on it, I think. And I mean, this is okay, better than the first two albums, of course, but it's still not that great. I like the title track actually though a lot. Title track is very nice. It has a very catchy sort of pop rockish feel to it. And the guitar solo is also interesting. I mean, they sort of stopped doing guitar solos after Richie Sambora left. But after the What About Now album, but guitar solo is so decent. Song's pretty good. The other songs I like, Knockout, Born Again, Tomorrow, Roller Coaster. Those are literally the other three songs I like. Besides that, don't really like the rest of the songs. We have Living with the Ghost, New Year's Day, Devil in Temple, Scars on This Guitar, God Bless His Mess, Reunion, Come Up to Our House, Real Love. Real Love's okay. Real Love's a decent song. All Hail the King, We Don't Run. Yeah, those songs not gonna do without. But This House Was Not For Sale, Knockout, Born Again, Tomorrow, Roller Coaster. Those songs are pretty decent. And yeah, I would say this secures a pretty easy number 13 spot. And that leads us to number 12, to the Circle album. So this album was released in 2009, I believe, and it's their 11th album. And sort of returned to their rock sound after they left to more country sound in 2007 with their Lost Highway album, and 2 years before that with their Have a Nice Day album in 2005. But this album is actually pretty decent. Now the thing is, half the album I really like, other half I don't like. The first half of the album is very good. Second half not that good. It starts off with We Weren't Born to Follow, very catchy and motivational song. I like that. When We Were Beautiful, Work for the Working Man, Superman Tonight, all great songs. Then it starts going downhill a little bit. First four songs are great, but after that, Bullet, Thorn on My Side is pretty good. But after Thorn on My Side, the next six songs are just not that good. But it was pretty interesting because they returned back to that rock sound. But like I said, for me, the best song on this album was We Weren't Born to Follow, and When We Were Beautiful was a very, nice sort of more softer song. But I liked how they returned back from the country sound. So it was it's a decent album, but you know, number 12. So that leads us to number 11 now, which is Lost Highway, which was actually released the year I was born, 2007. So Lost Highway is kind of interesting because like after they had some success with like experimenting with country stuff in 2005 with their previous album Have a Nice Day, this album just went full country mode. So this was the 10th album released, and I mean this album, it's decent, obviously better than the ones that we've covered already. I like some songs, but some song I could do without. The title track has to be the best song on the album. It's very catchy, very uplifting, and I like the sort of pop rockish combined with country rock. Its sound is very nice. You Want to Make a Memory and A Whole Lot of Leaving is okay. It's pretty good. Seat Next to You is also, I really like that song actually. And the only other song that I really like on the album is Till We Ain't Strangers No More. It features Leanne Rimes. Um, but the rest of the album, not, oh, it's, it's sort of like this pop rockish country rock, but like some of the songs they do that right, but other songs they don't really get that right sound, with the pop rock country rock thing. But yeah, that's the last album outside of the top 10, number 11. So now we're cracking the top 10 with the What About Now album. So their What About Now album was released, I think 2013, yeah. And this was their 12th studio album. This was the last one to feature Richie Sambora. And you can tell after that it sort of go downhill in terms of the guitar work and stuff. It's not bad, but it's okay. But this album in particular is pretty good. I like the combination of like the pop hooks combined with the rock sound. And that's some pretty decent songs on it. Uh, it starts off with Because We Can, then it goes to I'm With You, then What About Now. Those three songs are amazing. Best string song on the album. They start off very strong. After that, it starts going downhill. But there's still some decent songs like The Fighter and Thick as Thieves and What's Left of Me. But the first three songs I'll really say is the peak of the album. So they sort of put all the good stuff at the start. But it depends on your opinion. I just think that they put the good stuff at the start. But first three songs, Because We Can, I'm With You, and What About Now, I like them a lot, and that's why I put it in the top 10. And now we go to the ninth album. Sorry, not ninth album, ninth place, which is Crush. Now Crush was released I think exactly 2000. It's their seventh album. So it was sort of like this shift to more pop rock sound from like their alternative look to like the new era and millennium and stuff like that. And of course this album has the massive hit It's My Life on it. Now besides It's My Life, I would say it's a pretty good album. Still has some pretty decent songs. Some songs I don't like that much, but I would say It's My Life is number one, obviously. Then Thank You for Loving Me and One Wild Night, those amazing songs. Sage Isn't So is also decent, and Captain Crash and Beauty Came from Mars, those are also like third tier, I would guess. Besides that, like the other 5, 6 songs in the album, they're okay. But It's My Life, Thank You for Loving Me, and One Wild Night, those are amazing songs. I love all three of them, and this deserves to be in the top 10 for sure. But yeah, I would put that at spot number 8. Spot number 9. Now we go to spot number 8, which is the Bon Jovi album, the debut album. It was released all the way back in 1984, so long ago. This was their debut album, of course. This is very underrated. Like the first two albums didn't have that much mainstream success before Slippery When Wet, but like these songs, like every single song on this album is pretty good. Like I like all of them. Starts off with Runaway, of course. Runaway is like the massive hit on the album, but like it's actually not my favorite song. That's just like the radio hit. But all the other songs that come after that, it starts off with Runaway. Then we have Roulette, very catchy song. She Don't Know Me, great vocal performance on that. Shot Through the Heart, Love Lies is probably my favorite song of the album. Breakout, Burning for Love, Come Back, Get Ready. I think Get Ready would be the only song on the album where I don't really like it that much, but it's still decent. So like all 9 out of 9 tracks on the album are great. But this is just the beginning, their raw Bon Jovi sound, so they get a lot better than this, which is why the album sort of ranked lower. But if it was just released later, I'm sure they would have much better performance on these same songs. But that's why I put it at the number 8 spot. And then now we go to number 7, which is actually the album released right after this, 7,800 Fahrenheit. So this was their second album released in 1985. And this album, it's like just like the first album, but better. It's like the underdog material, sort of, if you will, for Bon Jovi, but like they improved a lot, and it shows their progress right before they released Slippery When Wet as the next album in the following year, 1986. So like all the songs on the album are pretty decent. Like I said, they're just like the first album song, but it's like they did them better. It starts off with In and Out of Love, amazing song. Price of Love, Only Lonely. All these songs are great. Silent Night, probably my favorite song. Only Lonely and Silent Night, both are my probably favorite songs. Top two right there. Only Lonely has a really cool guitar solo in it. Only song I probably wouldn't like would be King of the Mountain, maybe. It's pretty good too. Not sure. Eh, yeah, King of the Mountain probably only one, but like all the other 9 tracks, 9 or 10 tracks, are amazing on the album, and they did really good for just for the second album. Like this is a pretty decent performance that they made, and of course this was the one right before Slippery and Wet. But that comes in at the number 7 spot I think we're at now, and so now we go to number 6. So yeah, coming in the number 6 spot right outside of top 5 we have Bounce. So Bounce was released in 2002, heavily influenced by everything that went on 9/11 and everything. So this was their 8th album, and every single song on the album is amazing. Like there's 12 tracks I think. All 12 tracks are amazing. So we start off with Undivided. Pretty obvious what they're talking about in the song after the events that just happened. Then Every Day is a little bit more of a harder song. So is A Distance, but I think they're both all three of them are great songs. Then you go into Joey, Misunderstood, All About Loving You, a little bit more softer song, but still very catchy. Hook Me Up is the 7th song on the album. It's probably the only one I don't like as much as the other ones. Right Side or Wrong, Love You Back to Life, You Have Me From Hello, great songs. Of course, you have the title track, which is amazing too. Least favorite song on the album would be Hook Me Up. Favorite song on the album? Probably would have to be a three-way tie between Bounce, Love You Back to Life, and All About Loving You. Open All Night is probably good too, but between those three, I guess. But that's our last album outside the top 5, so now we're going to the top 5, and we start off with Have a Nice Day. So Have a Nice Day was their 9th studio album. This is when where they started experimenting with sort of the country sound, but mostly pop rockish. They only had one country single on really, Who Says You Can't Go Home, with what's her name, Jennifer Nettles, I think that's her name is. Yeah. But this album, very kick-ass album. Just it starts off with Have a Nice Day, best song on the album, 100%. But then all the other songs, like the deeper cuts, they're all amazing. I Wanna Be Loved, Last Man Standing, Last Cigarette, I Am, Complicated. Like they're very, if you listen to the lyrics, they're very personal songs and they're very touching. Like I like all the songs. Of course, you have Welcome to Wherever You Are, which is a more bigger hit. Who Says You Can't Go Home is went number 1 on the country charts. That actually made Bon Jovi the first ever rock band to have a number 1 single on the country charts. But Have a Nice Day is definitely the best song on the album in my opinion. And every single song on the album is great. The only song I don't like probably is Wildflower and Novocaine, however you pronounce it, I don't know. But Have a Nice Day, best song on the album, and all of these songs, 13 of them just slap. So that's why Have a Nice Day definitely belongs in the top 5. But now we're getting to 4th place. Now we're going to jump all the way back to the 90s for this one. 1992 specifically, and that is of course the Keep the Faith album. This was their 5th album. Actually, I have the CD for this right back there somewhere, and the cassette too. But all 12 songs of the album are really good. The only one that I probably wouldn't like were the last 2 tracks, Blame on the Love of Rock and Roll and A Little Bit of Soul. Those took a while to grow on me. I didn't like them as much, but all the other songs in the album are amazing. Now, of course, you have the 2 massive hits, Better Roses and Keep the Faith. But I think my favorite song will be In These Arms. And of course, you have the more softer songs, Woman in Love, I Want You, I Believe. More like alternative, softer songs because, the grunge era started. But yeah, this album is amazing. And of course, you have Dry County, which is Bon Jovi's longest song. It's like almost just under 10 minutes. And the guitar solo in that song has to be my favorite guitar solo from Richie Sambora. But favorite song on the album is definitely In These Arms. Has a very powerful guitar solo. At the same time, the lyrics are very powerful. It's just an amazing song. And that's why this album is at the 4th spot. And like I said, there's only about 1 or 2 tracks I don't really like on this album, but still, they're great. Oh yeah, and also, this was the last album for the bassist, Alex John Such, that's his name. And before Hugh McDonald permanently took over, well, this was the last album that featured him. This was released in 1992, but he left in 1994 due to like poor performance or whatever it was. But yeah, it's the last album to feature like the original classic lineup. But that's also the last album out of the top three. So now we're heading to the top three, and I'm pretty sure it's kind of obvious what three albums are left. Everyone knows these. Well, if you're watching this video, you should. But on the number third spot, we have the biggest record of the 80s, the biggest Bon Jovi record of all time. That's of course Slippery When Wet. This was their third studio album, released in 1986, and all the songs on the album are just amazing. Some people say the only bad song on this album is Social Disease, but even that song is amazing. All 10 out of 10 tracks on this album are amazing. Let It Rock, amazing hard rock song. Of course, then you have You Give a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer. Not gonna even say anything about that, you already know. Social Disease, amazing song. Warren Dead or Alive, not gonna say anything again. Raise Your Hands is amazing anthem. Without Love is more like harder rock combined with like pop rock. But I really like that as well. I Die For You, amazingly catchy song, probably my favorite song on the album. And Never Say Goodbye is more of a softer song. I also like that. And then it's like sort of a more heavy blood, hair metal blood. And Wild in the Streets, just absolute killer kick-ass song. But I Die For You would probably be my favorite song on the album. Or Raise Your Hands. Raise Your Hands also very catchy. But that takes us to the top two. And there's only really two choices that can, take up these spots. And so the number two spot goes to their fourth album, released in 1998. Sorry, 1988, not 98, 88. Their last album of the 80s, and that's their fourth album, New Jersey. So every single song on this album is absolutely amazing. The two songs, Ride Cowboy Ride, and Love for Sale, I don't know what the hell those are. They're just like, I think they're album fillers or whatever. Just like Ride Cowboy Ride is the intro to Stick to Your Guns and all that. Love for Sale, I don't know why they ended on that. Just could just finish on 99 in the Shade. But besides those two, every single song on the album is great. Lay Your Hands on Me, amazing anthem. Bad Medicine, amazing anthem. Born to Be a Baby, like all these songs are catchy. Like you can sing them. Lay Your Hands on Me, Bad Medicine, Born to Be a Baby, Living in Sin, Blood on Blood, Homebound Train, Wild as the Wind, I'll Be There for You, Stick to Your Guns, 99 and shit. Every single one of these songs, like you can sing them. Like they have catchy drum parts, bass, keyboard, guitar. Like you can sing them. That's why they're such big hits. Cause like all these get stuck in your head. You were born to be my baby. Your love is like bad medicine. Living in sin. Like all those are catchy, very very catchy, and that's a secret. And it proved that they weren't a one hit wonder. From Slippery When Wet, and this album really secured their place in international fame. That Bon Jovi isn't just a fluke or anything like that. They're here and they're here to stay. And of course, at least this is the number one spot. I wonder what that is. Can you guess it? It's none other than their sixth album released these days. It was released in 1995, and this album is just beautiful. It's not hard rock. It may not be hard, it may not be heavy, it may not be fast, it may not have shreddy guitar solos, but the songs on this album, they touch you. Like this album is the darkest album, and this album was just beautiful. Because if you're ever in a dark time or anywhere, this is the album I listen to. If you're ever in those bad times, listen to this album, you would certainly get uplifted. All 12 tracks on this album are absolutely amazing. Starts out with Hey God, massive banger. Talks about political issues and things like that. Something for the Pain, It's In a Love Song, These Days, Lie to Me, Damned, My Guitar Lies Beating in Your Arms, It's Hard Letting You Go, Hearts Breaking Even, Something to Believe In, If That's What It Takes, Diamond Ring. All these songs are so amazing. Now they're a lot softer, and if you listen to the lyrics, they're a lot more emotional. They talk about love, breakup, being alone, depression, things like that. So that's why this album, if you're ever in a dark or bad place, listen to this, and I guarantee you, it's better than any medicine or anything. This album will uplift you, and this is why this is number one, because this is their most emotional and moving album, and this is probably one of the greatest albums ever recorded and released. But yeah, that's basically it. That all 15 albums. Let's review it real quick. Number 15, Burning Bridges. Number 14, 2020. Number 13, This House Not For Sale. Number 12, The Circle. Number 11, Lost Highway. Number 10, What About Now. Number 9, Crush. Number 8, the self-titled album Bon Jovi. Number 7, 7,800 Fahrenheit. Number 6, Bounce. Coming to top 5, we have Have a Nice Day, Keep the Faith. Top 3, Slippery When Wet, New Jersey, and These Days. I hope you enjoyed. Leave whatever band you want to hear next down in the comments, or I'll just spin the wheel again, and let me know your rankings as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.